This weekend, Virginia International Raceway and the Sports Car Club of America combine to form a mecca for lovers of sports car racing. 500 drivers and over 20 classes doing battle in a race for the gold. For the second straight year, welcome to the track that Paul Newman once called Heaven on Earth for the historic 60th running of the SCCA Runoffs. Welcome to Virginia International Raceway as we're in prototype racing mode. These are some of the fastest fendered cars here this weekend. This broadcast, of course, brought to you by our friends at Mazda. It's Haggerty Race Day here at the Virginia International Raceway. I'm John Phippen. Sitting alongside me is Larry McLeod as we are getting ready to bring you the first of two prototype races here at the Virginia International Raceway this weekend. We start with Prototype 2, the, quote, slower of the two prototype classes. And this class is chock full of veterans. It is chock full of former winners. And to set the stage for this Prototype 2 race, the third member of our broadcast team is Hayward Wagner down trackside.
Guys, to put the slower of the prototype car classes in perspective, these guys were running about 148 in qualifying at the front of the field. The P1 car is 143. That same gap is with the gap between a Prototype 2 car and a GT2 car here at VIR. So these cars are about 6 seconds a lap faster than one of the fastest full-bodied car classes here at the Runoffs. Every year in Prototype 2, as we walk around, you see new bits, new little aero things, new adjustments, developments in the car. This is very much a developer's class. The steward for this class often dresses in a Gumby outfit to imply that everything's a little bendable, a little stretchy in Prototype. What's really different this year, though, is Goodyear. There are two cars on this grid that are running Hoosiers. The rest are all on Goodyears, and that includes the front row, the second row, and the third row, all running the bright yellow Goodyear logo on their tires.
Thanks, Hayward. Looking forward to this one. It's a small field, but a mighty one. And again, lots of experience. 160 runoff starts between all of the 12 drivers in this field. That's a bunch. We only have one rookie in the field, and he is starting at the back. We've got a track map here. Let me introduce Larry McLeod. He is a 5-time solo nationals champion and a solo driver of eminence, by the way.
Well, thank you. Yeah, the track map. So let me take you through Sector 1 is going to be all of the kind of sweepy stuff. Turn 1 is downhill braking into that long sort of increasing radius hairpin, around through NASCAR bend at 3, which can be side-by-side in these kind of cars, up through turn 4, which is the left hook, and then you get into the twisty bits, the snake, and then you go around that back straight, which is a bit of a flat-out run. Should be flat out for these cars all the way through the climbing S's 7, 8, 9, and then flick these things with all the downforce around South Bend at 10 as they go in through the number 12, the old oak tree turn, up the back hill straight Madison Avenue to the top of the roller coaster there at turn 13 and 14, and they'll go plummeting down that coaster, hopefully single file, could be double wide. They get down to 17, and these things will have all the grip in the world coming off a hog pen down that front straight.
These cars are all about downforce. They are basically Formula Atlantic style cars with bodies on top of them. And these cars in the Prototype 2 class run predominantly with the motorcycle-based power plants, Suzuki's and Kawasaki's basically. There's even a Honda in the field, but the store chassis very much dominant in this field. Let's go ahead and introduce the 12 runners for you. As we mentioned, there's only one rookie in the field, and he starts outside of row number 6. That's the 89 of A.J. Snyder out of Gastonia, North Carolina, in the Central Carolinas region. He's in a store Suzuki. Next to him, one of the most experienced drivers in the field with 48 runoff starts, but he's still looking for his first gold medal. That's the 97 of Richard Colburn out of Northbrook, Illinois, in the Cincinnati region. In the Sunshine Metals car, he has 42 consecutive runoff starts. That is the most of any active driver. He's in an Ostendo Suzuki's powered machine. In row number 5 on the outside, the 77 of Michael Moulton out of Wilmington, North Carolina, in the North Carolina region, in a store WF1. Next to him, the 07 of Thomas Kaufman from Riviera Beach, Florida, in the Florida region, in a store Suzuki. In row 4, car 12, Peter Shadowin from West Palm Beach, Florida, in the Florida region. He is a 5-time former champion, most recently winning in GT Light a year ago. He is in a West Suzuki powered machine. He's the 2010 winner of the Donahue Award. The inside of him is the number 28 of Bart Wolf from Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin in the Milwaukee region, in the only Ligier in the field with Honda power. Outside of row 3, car number 7, Mike Rupert, Hubertus, Wisconsin. He is also a 2-time winner, most recently D-Sports Racer in 1997. Next to him is the number 44 of Tony Ave. We've seen him this weekend in several tin tops. He's out of the Central Carolina region, a 3-time winner, most recently, or just earlier today, but he won GT3 a year ago in another store. Outside of row 2, the 99 of Lucian Pancea. Lucian out of San Antonio, Texas, in the Lone Star region in a store, Kawasaki. Next to him, the 03 of Sherman Chao out of Palm Beach, Florida, in the Central Florida region in a store, Suzuki. On the front row, Tim Day Jr. in the number 8 out of Scottsdale, Arizona, and the San Francisco region, a 2-time champion, most recently in 2021 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway in a store, Suzuki. And your pole sitter, the number 83 of Greg Gyann from the Western Springs, Illinois, and the Chicago region, a 2-time and defending champion. He was the Tire Rack Pole Award winner in his store, Suzuki. As the field still weaving back and forth, trying to get some temperature into these, again, mostly Goodyear tires in the field. As the 83 of Greg Gyann, your Tire Rack Pole Award winner.
Took that award on Tire Rack Pole Day, just clipping past Tim Day Jr., who had it on the first day. So Greg knows how to step up when the pressure's on. That's what he did to take that pole. There's going to be a lot of pressure behind him as we get this race going, though. Yeah,
Tim Day Jr., again, a 2-time champ. Both of these drivers on the front row, 2-time winners in this class. Their qualifying time separated by just over a 1/10 of a second, as they are just now getting ready to line up single side by side as the safety car pulls into the pit lane late. Sherman Chao and Lucian Pancea need to get lined up in row number 2. The field now all packed up. Everybody's good to go. As the starter looks them over, and we are green as they accelerate toward turn number 1. Our pole sitter, Greg Gyann, trying to hold off the challenge from behind, and that is the 8 of Tim Day Jr. But Gyann's gotten it done. Day falls in single file right behind him, but sweeping around the outside is Pancea, trying to get himself up into the 3rd spot, but he is still side by side with the 44 of Tony Ave. Ave and Pancea going after it. Ave thinks about ducking down to the inside, but falls back in single file. It's still very much early days with Greg Gyann, your leader. There's the 7 car of Mike Rupert, another veteran campaigner, as they work their way through the lower S's now. These cars so much faster than the cars we've been watching earlier on in the runoffs. I kind of have to recalibrate myself as how quickly these guys are making their way around the track.
They are hustling. And take a look at this. Tony Ave, who's been out there in 2 races already today, trying to make moves on the Sherman Chao. Sherman getting those elbows out a little bit, keeping Ave behind him. Ave now, of course, has Pancea in the similarly prepped 99 right behind him. So watch for these 2 guys. They may work together a little bit, but at some point, they become frenemies, right? Is that what they call that?
I think something like that. Greg Gyann and Tim Day Jr. in the 2 stores at the front. And then kind of in a lonely 3rd spot, Sherman Chao, as here comes the 8 of Tim Day Jr., the 2-time champion, winning this race in 2021 at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, as they fall down the hill through the roller coaster. And this is where the downforce in these cars really shows, as these drivers just able to carry so much corner speed through these very tricky descending turns as they make their way onto the front straightaway once again.
Yeah, those Suzuki those motors just absolutely scream down the front straights, but it's all the aero in these cars. They're lightweight, a lot of aero from underneath and on top. And look at this already, Gyann, again, trying to go right back at Day able to hold that line, but these guys, they race very close. Yes, there's a bit of aero wash off the back of these things, but they still allow them to race close. There you can see Ave pressuring now Sherman Chao as they go around NASCAR Bend. He's able to do that with these cars, but look at that, a little bit late on it, and all of a sudden Pancea says, "Thank you, Tony, I'm going to duck right underneath you."
Exactly right, and then right there behind them is the 28 of Bart Wolf in that Robin's Egg Blue Ligier, the only Ligier in the field, as they work their way through the lower S's. But Ave and Pancea continue their battle.
Yeah, Wolf comes into this with 13 previous starts, so here in his 14th start, he's got 6 podiums in his past. Do not count out Bart Wolf. He looks like he's pretty racy early on. A little bit of an oddball-looking car out there in that Ligier with the Honda, so it's not one of those bike motors, I don't think he's got in there, but a little bit of a different chassis than the rest of the stores with their Suzukis.
Tony Ave goes just a little bit wide. Pancea, though, compromised his exit of Oak Tree, and that's going to open the door for Ave. Again, similar prep job on these cars, very similar paint jobs. Ave's got a little bit of a blue over the shock cover. So that's how you can tell the two apart. The yellow shock cover for Pancea in the 99. Ave's thinking about it, and he pulls the trigger all late on the brakes into Roller Coaster, and he's able to get it done. Pancea didn't fight him too terribly hard. And there's the 28 of Wolf right behind these two.
Ave, again, just about, I don't know, an hour and a half, 2 hours ago, ran a GT3 car around here, a very different type of car. Yes, they have a little bit of aero to them, but they are not a P2 type of aero. He's definitely getting used to that. You see how late he is on those brakes. Just about didn't get it woed down in front of Pancea, but in the end he does. Let's see if he can get a run going and get back up to Chao there for third. Look at Gyann locking up for Tony, continuing to lock those front tires up on there.
Tony, of course, the winner of the Hawk Breakthrough Performance Award, and that's the award given for the driver who makes up the most positions in between first and second qualifying, Tuesday and Wednesday. Tony only picked up one spot, but this field was so closely packed that that's all that was required to win that Hawk Performance Award, a set of Hawk brake pads.
Yeah, maybe he needs to put that set on the car. He wouldn't be locking up so much. So maybe he can modulate a little more with the Hawks.
Yeah, it could well be that he might have flat spotted those tires the first time he locked them up, and now every time that tire comes around, that flat spot is going to want to lock up once again.
It always finds that same spot over and over again. That could be tough. This is a very long race. We're only working lap 4 out of 15. It could be a very long race here for Tony if he does, in fact, have a bit of a flat spot on there.
These great camera shots we're getting from Apex, you can see the carbon fiber bodywork on these cars. Most of them run without any paint to make them as light as possible. And Tim Day having to be just a little bit defensive as he's doing a little weaving, trying to keep Greg Gyann behind him. Gyann, the tire rack pole sitter. And right now, those two just kind of having a little dance between themselves. Sherman Chao kind of by himself in that third spot. But then the Ave Pancea battle with those two stores going after it for fourth and fifth.
Well, between Day and Gyann, they are the two most recent champions in this class, with Gyann coming in having won here last year. Gyann also set the track record in here in the race back in 2019 right here VIR, and he just reset it. Tim J had it for a moment. Now Gyan's got it at a 49, but wait a second. Tony Ave just did a 49.3, and that's an off. Is that Gyann?
Yeah, Gyann was trying to go around the outside of Day at turn number 1, dropped a couple wheels off, but he's kept the motor running, but he's fallen back behind Bart Wolf all the way back to 6th. So Gyan's going to have an uphill struggle now, and he's going to have some dirt on his tires. It'll take him a while, and it looked to me like that was Pancea who dropped a wheel off at the exit of 3.
I wonder if they're getting out a little bit of the marbles. Again, this is not the first race today for sure. Let's check a little replay here as they come down into 1. You got Day doing a good job right in the middle of the track, forcing Gyann to go a little bit on the outside, and he tries, but you watch him, he's out there, and it's dirty. There's a little bit of marble out there, and I think he just then runs right up the track, which drops fast, and he realized, look how much of a hill that is, and just whips it around, everybody else able to avoid him. But that's going to give Day a bit of a nice cushion now. He's about 2 seconds ahead of Chao and Ave, but Ave should see him in the shot, getting close to Chao. That's your top 3 right now, Day, Chao, Ave.
Lucian Pancea right behind him, then Bart Wolf, and that's where we'll see Greg Gyann come in behind them. As you can see, Tim Day with Sherman Chao now giving chase. Chao in the white 03 with the red highlights on top. Sherman Chao in his, this will be his 8th runoff start. His best finish so far, a 2nd at Mid-Ohio in Prototype 2 back in 2016. And Sherman Chao giving chase to Tim J as they come across the line. We'll get the interval. It's now about a 1.5 seconds between those two. And then Tony Ave in the bronze medal position right now, but Lucian Pancea right behind him in the 99 car.
Yeah, they are at a blistering pace right now. You just see them all. They're all running right around the old track record time in those mid-150s, of course, with Pancea turning 49s. I mentioned Tony Ave's 49.3, the new track record here in this. It is prime conditions for these cars. These Goodyears are hooking up right now.
Yeah, and it's coolish. The motorcycle motors make it good power under these conditions. They're all normally aspirated, of course, so they like these cooler conditions. But Goodyear's getting hooked up. I think it's with the reason we saw some of these cars being a little more skittish earlier in the run is the tires weren't quite up to temperature and up to pressure. But now that they've had a couple laps under their belts, working race lap number 5, these cars are really getting stuck to the ground.
Take a look at that. That's interesting to watch. Day Jr. running wide off the curbing, trying to get that exit speed. Chao deciding to stay inside of the curbs and get the smoother exit, probably trying to get that arrow to stick a little better, be more consistent. Look at this. Day trying not to give any bit of air behind him to Chao. Doesn't want to give that draft. Chao says, that's fine. I'm close enough. I like air over my car going down roller coaster.
Sure. And, you weave around as much as you want. You're wasting valuable time and distance. Chao just taking the shortest distance between 2 points, and that's going to keep him right in touch.
And Chao on a really quick lap this time around, too. He reset fastest first sector. He's only a 10th off fastest second sector. That was a pretty good dig coming out of Hog Pen. Chao also going to be in the 49s here in a second with that draft behind Day. He is moving.
A 49.6, his personal best. Best lap of the race right now is Tony Ave with that 49.9.
There's Tony. Look out for the marbles out there, Tony, as he's getting pressured from Pancea. They were side by side for a minute. Tony able to keep it in. These two good buddies are fighting their way around. They got to watch the marbles. We already saw what happened to Greg Gyann behind him.
Yeah, Gyann in recovery mode. He got around Bart Wolf to get back up into 5th. Remember, he was battling for the lead when he dropped all 4 wheels off at the outside of turn 1. It's going to be a tall order for him to catch these leaders. But while we're coming up on to lap number 6, working race lap number 6, let's take just a moment and we'll step aside to give some of the folks that make the running possible here at the 60th running of the SCCA Runoffs.
A car like this shouldn't exist. Something this big, this luxurious, shouldn't move like a Mazda. And yet, it does.
Oh my God, it sounds epic as well. This car is an SUV with bragging rights.
The all-new 3-row Mazda CX-90.
Okay, so pretend this is your race car. It's on the trailer, and you have an accident. Ouch! At least your truck's insurance will pay for another one? Yeah, not so fast. Standard insurance won't replace your race car, whether it's in the trailer, in the paddock, in the garage, or the repair shop. But at Hagerty, we can protect it for what it's really worth anytime it's off the track. No matter what or where you race, offer less than a set of race tires. Hagerty, let's drive together.
It's Hagerty Race Day presented by Mazda, and we are here at Virginia International Raceway. The Sunoco 260 Award is one of the contingency awards offered during the qualifying runs coming up into the race weekend, and the winner of the Sunoco 260 Award was Bart Wolf. Bart currently running in 6th spot. Basically, the award is given to the driver whose qualifying time on Tuesday with the last 3 digits coming closest to 260. Bart Wolf turned a 154.252. That's pretty close, and that got him 15 gallons of Sunoco race fuel for winning the Sunoco 260 Award. As the battle at the front between Tim Day and Sherman Chao has stabilized at about a half a second. Chao just kind of biding his time right now. Day, the 2-time champion in the class, most recently winning it 2 years ago at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. But I'll tell you what, lurking there in 3rd is Tony Ave. He's broken away just a bit from Lucian Pancea, And we're soon to have a three-way battle for the lead here.
And Pancea is not going anywhere. In fact, he's actually right there in fourth. You can just see him at the back of the shot, just another half a second behind Ave or so. This is turning into a very tight little race between these 4 cars.
I misidentified the third-place runner. Obviously, it is Pancea. Ave now back into 5th spot as we've got a spinner. Unfortunately, I don't see the number on the car as the camera angle, these cars are so low to the ground, the camera angle did not show us the side view of the car, but that's the same kind of problem that we saw earlier.
That's a 77 of Michael Moulton.
Yeah.
Going for a long ride just as he had crested the top of the uphill S's, and he's just sort of down in the valley in between South Bend and the back straight.
Yeah, Michael Moulton was running in 10th position and just carried a little too much speed coming off the last of the climbing S's. And Pancea has gotten around Sherman Chao. Pancea is the man on the move. Oof. He is up to 2nd spot right now.
I can tell you why he did, because he just reset again the fastest lap of the race at a 48.8. They dropped 1.4 seconds off of the prior track record out here. They are blistering this place.
And Tim Day has got his mirrors full of Lucian Pancea. Pancea looking for his first runoffs gold medal. He's had 4 second places in his 9 runoff starts, this being his 10th start. And could a gold medal be in his future? As he pops to the inside, he's been watching Day weaving back and forth trying to break the draft. He is going to go early right out of Oak Tree Bend, still side by side, but I think he's gotten it done. Day falls back in single file. Day going to try to go late on the brakes, but Pancea very calmly just takes his normal racing line and uses all the downforce at his discretion here as they tumble down the hill from the roller coaster down into Hog Pen. Pancea is hooked up. That car is not wiggling one bit. He has got it right where he wants it. Sherman Chao goes out. He goes wide. Tony Ave goes up into 3rd spot. Looks like Greg Gyann got by as well. So Sherman Chao will rejoin, I think, in 5th position as he just carried a little too much speed. Oh, it looks like a blown motor, and that's for the 97 of the veteran Richard Colburn in the Nostendo as Colburn's engine gives up the ghost. He was running in 10th spot after Michael Moulton's spin. So we've had a little attrition here with Moulton spinning off, and now Richard Colburn, the veteran, in his 49th runoff start. It's not going to get to the end.
Yeah, they've got that debris flag out in that corner. Look at all that smoke that they're driving through. Let's hope there's no other fluids. Could be. That's why they're being cautious right now.
Yeah, looks like a little maybe dusting, but these drivers have all gotten through it as Colburn has pulled into a place of safety there. So we won't have a yellow flag unless the corner workers determine that there's just too much fluid down on the track. Just as it looked like Pancea was going to be able to march away into the sunset, he's getting a little squirrely coming out of Oak Tree, and Tim Day Jr.
That's why Chao earlier we were watching him wasn't using those curbs because he wanted the car to plant, wants the consistent arrow into the car.
Yep.
Well, in that move right there, you can see why. Pancea gets a little bit loose, and now Day is going to try to use that to get the pass. They're going to go side by side up at the top of the roller coaster.
Pancea, I think, making a good decision to let him go by, realizing he can live to fight another day. We've got plenty of racing left. We are just about to complete race lap number 9. So 6 laps to go as they come down into Hog Pen. That's one thing about it. We see a lot of the stock body cars using a lot of curb, but these downforce cars obviously can afford not to do that. Yeah. They want to be planted to the ground, running as low as they can possibly do. As you can see, you can't even see a sliver of light underground as Pancea late on the brakes.
Oh, no.
And now another retirement. Mike Rupert with trouble as the motor giving up on the 7 car. Mike Rupert, another veteran of 26 runoff starts. He's had 2 wins, but he has not won since 1997 at Mid-Ohio in D-Sports Racer. So Rupert and Coburn, 2 veterans in this class with mechanical problems, as Pancea has retaken the lead from Tim Day.
Yeah, Rupert, I talked to him this morning and, didn't quite get the qualifying he wanted, but perhaps he would have the pace once the race got going. Unfortunately, that motor decided to give up the ghost right at the end of the back straight. Now he's done here today. Both he and Colburn out within about a lap of each other.
But the constant has been these two drivers at the front. Once Pancea got around Ave, he just went like a house afire, caught the leaders. Tony Ave soldiering on in third spot, but he, at the end of the last lap, was 3.5 seconds behind this great battle at the front.
Well, he better watch, though, because Greg Gyann, after the spin that he had down there in turn 1 a few laps ago, only about 2.5 seconds behind Ave for that third step on the podium. So Greg is coming. Tony better look out for him, and Greg just reset his personal best sector 2. Greg is on a good one.
Yeah, in fact, of the top 4, he is the fastest of the 4.
For sure.
Running a 150 flat on that last lap.
And I think he's catching Tony in this lap in that background there. But as you look at Pancea, it really gets the run of a hog pen every single lap. That's the one spot he's definitely faster than Day. I think Day's quicker coming out of, maybe coming off of Oak Tree, maybe going up to the S's. Pancea clearly has the advantage as they enter the front straight.
As we mentioned, Day with 2 wins. Pancea looking for his first with 4 second-place finishes. What a great deal it would be if he can finally notch his first gold medal on the 5th try. Working their way out of NASCAR Bend.
Yep. And I'm glad we want to see this. Thanks, guys. Yes, the 83 Gyann has gotten around Ave now for third spot. I told you he was flying. That last lap for Gyann was a 50.0 to Ave's 53.3. Gyann, the fastest car on the track, and we're talking 11 laps in. He's got some serious pace.
Gyann started this race on the pole, and 2-time and defending winner of the gold medal. And a self-inflicted wound put him well down the order. In fact, he fell all the way back to 6th spot, but has just been slowly working his way back into contention here. And now he's back into the medal positions. But with only 5 laps, less than 5 laps remaining, does he have the pace and the time to catch the 2 guys in front of him?
Big slide there across the curbs coming out of Oak Tree. But yeah, what he would love to see is for Day and Pancea to start going side by side a couple of times, because right now Gyann is about 5 seconds back from them. He can see them. He can see what they're doing up there, but he needs those guys to start mixing it up. With only about 4.5 laps to go, he needs a little bit of help. He can only turn so many laps at a 150 before the guys in front are just going to check out, and then it's going to make it a 2-man race.
We stay with Gyann, our 3rd place runner, and then we'd go back to the front with Lucian Pancea and Tim Day Jr. chasing him. Pancea seems to have things well in hand, but we have seen this situation change multiple times in the course of this race, as we are just now completing race lap number 11.
And the veteran Day is definitely knows how to win races and close out races. You know, he's going to probably sit here for a little bit. Within a second, he knows he's in draft zone, maybe just kind of resetting the car a little bit, doesn't want to push it. Maybe in that last 3 laps, he'll start to pull a little bit. He also probably recognizes that Gyann's behind him, and any mixing up isn't going to help him. At this distance, he can protect his front tires for a couple more laps before making that last push. Maybe he's hoping that Pancea, in the push to get to the front, maybe went through his tires just a little bit too quickly. So let's see. It's not over yet.
Exactly right. Into the snake, the lower S's here. And again, you can see him avoiding the curbs. As I watch, it looks like Day's car a little bouncier. Pancea's car a little more planted as he works his way through some of the bumpy spits. And so maybe the shock tuning may be a little bit better on Pancea's car. But there's really not much between these two.
Day looked quicker around South Bend, or at least willing to go quicker. Sometimes it is a bit of a daring move if you want. But look at both of them staying off those exit curves, recognizing that you just got to get clean exits. Then right behind him, Gyann is just sending it. Everything he can do. By the way, Gyann's last lap, 1:49.4, just a 10th behind the quickest lap of the race. His personal best, he took a whole second out of these guys, so he's going to come across straight next time, probably about 3.5 seconds behind them. This is getting close.
But the battle is on at the front. Tim Day has caught Lucian Pancea as we stay with Greg Gyann, the 3rd place runner, from the pole in recovery mode after that self-inflicted off-course excursion there at turn 1 as he got off into the marbles going wide at that first turn. And here we go, battle for the lead. And they touch. Battle for the lead. And Pancea crowding Tim Day off the track. And they made contact. You could see the tire smoke as they made side-to-side contact.
Yeah, carbon fiber bodies like this do not like contact very
doubt.
easily. Could either throw off the arrow, could even misalign something. That was good contact for Day. He actually looked like he had his right side tires in the grass under the starter stand. Who knows what that could do to the car? And I'm looking at Greg Gyann. He has got to be licking his chops at the opportunity right now.
Yeah, you guys just keep mixing it up like that. I'm coming. Tim Day right on the rear wing of Lucian Pancea as they work their way through the lower S's.
I was wondering if Day was just going to hold back for a little bit and wait for the opportunity, and that looked like it. One good run off a hog pen, and he's up underneath him now. He's still pushing. Maybe he was hoping that would be his turn one. Didn't happen. Now with just about 2 laps to go here, he's going to make another push and hope that Gyann doesn't catch him before these two get too close.
Working race lap 13. They'll see the white next time by.
Look at the slide,
man.
Pancea.
He has got a handful now. Pancea's car going away from him a little bit. Maybe using up the tires. And that's going to give Tim Day, who had a much cleaner run through Oak Tree, as they climb the hill on Madison Avenue.
Yeah, Lucian looks like he may have a little better top end. You know, Day is just not able to get that close. Even look at him ducking in the draft, can't quite make it work. Maybe he knows that. He's got to get better exit speeds.
Pancea with the Kawasaki, and Day and just about everybody else among the front runners with the Suzuki. So maybe the Kawasaki's got just a little more top end speed.
Day, a little issue in the brake and turn it into roller coaster there. That's what, now this extra gap that Pancea is able to build is all at the top of the roller coaster. Day just struggled to get that turn in. Maybe a little bit of a brake issue. Could going back to when he put the right side tires in the dirt a lap ago.
Working race lap 14, so it'll be white next time by. Tim Day gathering himself up, see if he's got one more challenge. He's got 2 laps to find a way to recatch Lucian Pancea and repass him. Meanwhile, Greg Gyann continues to be faster than both of them. Gyann on his last lap, a 50.1. Pancea was a 50.2. Day, a 51.1. So we'll see how that shakes out.
Yeah, losing that braking point, whatever he did at the top of the roller coaster, hurt him quite a bit, especially if he was trying to queue up for a push. Now he's got to put it all together on one good lap. I think he can get close here on lap 14. He's going to have to make a pass very likely into 1. Might be his best chance on 15 because, again, I don't know that he has the better motor down the back straight as it goes uphill, but he might have a shot to outbrake him into 1. Again, that car looked loose coming around South Bend.
Double apex right-hander at Oak Tree. Pancea avoiding the rumble strips altogether as Tim Day takes it right out to the edge, and there is Greg Gyann still within shouting distance in third.
He's taking a couple tenths out of these guys lap by lap, but a couple tenths when you're 5 seconds back isn't really going to be enough if you're Greg Gyann. But for Day, needs the run down this roller coaster, and he needs a hog pen of his life if he wants to have a shot at this race. That was pretty good turn-in up there. He's closing that gap. Let's see if he can get the run off hog pen.
You bet. They're coming to the white flag. There'll be 1 to go this time by as they're working their way through the hog pen turn. And he's going to be able to get some draft help from Pancea as they come to the white flag. There it is. The white flag's in the air. And Day is definitely eating him up as they come into turn number 1. 1 lap to go.
Let's see if they get a little feisty through NASCAR into left hook. That's usually a good spot because you got a choice of lines. Does Pancea defend? A little bit.
Just a bit. Right out to the edge. Day goes a little bit wider, but carries good exit speed into left hook. Now they take the right-hander into the lower S's for the final time at speed. These cars just planted. I'm sure they're flat all the way through this section of the racetrack.
So much grip in these little cars.
Yeah, indeed. Just maybe a feather of a lift as they come through the climbing S's here.
Probably lifting at the top of the hill, I would suspect. You enter those things, probably flatten these things. All right, here comes the critical corner. Got to come off Oak Tree with a run. Who gets the power down smoothly?
Day goes a little wider, but it didn't look like it upset the car too much. You can see some of the marbles, some of the clag being kicked up as they work their way down Madison Avenue. Day trying to stay right in the draft to maximize his top speed.
That Kawasaki is strong today.
It is strong, absolutely so. Pancea just needs to keep it clean through these last sequence of turns, and I think his first gold medal is in his future. As he comes through Hog Pen for the final time, Day gets a good run, a great run does Day. Here they come to the line. Day's going to stay in line as long as he can afford and then pop out at the last minute, but not quite close enough. Lucian Pancea takes the gold medal for the first time. And Tim Day, margin of victory, less than a tenth of a second, 63 thousandths of a second. Greg Gyann, after his mistake, made a great recovery drive to within 3 seconds of those guys. But here comes Bart Wolf, right behind Tony Ave and Sherman Chao. Bart Wolf coming home in 6th spot in the lone Liege as he gives a wave to the crowd on his cool down lap.
Great race for Pancea. Really, really incredible drive right there. Took his time, patient in the early stages. As at that point, Tim Day and Greg Gyann were still sort of battling it out, just waited for his opportunity. You remember he had Sherman Chao in the mix there for a while. Lucian just said, nope, I'm good. I can hang a little bit. I'll just wait. Even had Tony Ave in front of him for a little bit. He said, nope, I'm patient. I can wait. All of a sudden, he just turned it on and ran to the front, and it just kept Day behind him lap after lap. It was just brilliant.
Here's your top 10. Lucian Pancea taking the win after finishing second here a year ago. He is finally getting his gold medal. Tim Day denied a third gold medal by 63 thousandths of a second. Greg Gyann, a bronze, another 2.5 seconds back. Tony Ave settled for fourth. Sherman Chao in fifth. Bart Wolf, the last car on the, or still on the lead lap. No, he was a lap down, was Bart Wolf in 6th spot. Thomas Kaufman comes home in 7th. AJ Snyder, the only rookie in the field, comes home in 8th spot. Both Mike Rupert and Richard Colbert with mechanical problems dropped them out of the running before we got to the end. So Lucian Pancea in his 10th runoff start, picked by Sports Car to finish third on the podium. He takes it to the top step. Greg Gyann, picked by Sports Car to finish second on the podium. He finished in third, and Tim Day was picked to win this one, and he finished second, but by the slimmest of margins. So the top three are the ones that Sports Car picked. The order just a little bit different.
Yeah, Pancea for him, second last year, he'd been second, 4 different times?
Yep.
This top step is going to taste pretty sweet for him tonight.
Absolutely it will. And we've got more prototype racing coming up as the Prototype 1 cars also racing on this first day of the 90th running.
90th?
As we can start 60th running. Not quite 90th. Eventually we'll get there. I don't know
Hayward
that I'll
will still
be here, but
Hayward will still be doing pit reporting at the 90th, I'm sure.
Hayward will definitely be still here in 30 years. As Pancea getting congratulations from his crew, and he climbs out. Hayward Wagner is standing by, so we'll let Lucian celebrate just a little bit. Hayward, will send it down to you. You got a happy driver, I'm sure.
Pretty high level of excitement here with our national champion. Go ahead and pull the helmet off so we can talk to you a little bit. This is your 6th podium, but first time that you get to stand on top of it. He's new to this whole getting the helmet off thing. He's never done it before.
It's actually tougher than dropping the race.
First time standing on top of the podium. How is this going to feel?
Man, it's fantastic. I have no words. Oh, it was a tough race, starting fourth, but I knew if I, keep my head in the game, I can make it happen. And, I watched the drivers in front of me, where their strengths are, where, they're not as good. So I picked up on that, and then once, the car started feeling better and better with every lap. So I was like, this is my time. So.
Looked like you and Tim had some contact on the front straight, maybe three laps left. What happened there?
I have no idea. I just felt like a bump, so I had no idea it was there or anything. So, with the sun this low, the mirrors were useless. So I try my best.
I imagine you have some folks to thank.
I would like to thank the dear Lord up there, Young Racing, my family, Evelyn, Danica, Robert, and Marcus. and my sponsors, especially George Dean, for providing me with a good motor. Thank you.
Congratulations. We're going to get you the medal, and you get to take one more lap.
Great job for Lucian Pancea, and obviously very grateful for that win. And you can see just how exhausted he was.
Yeah.
These cars generate so much grip, so much downforce. The lateral G's alone will wear you out. And I'm sure the steering is pretty heavy as well. Hayward's got our second and third place finishers as well.
These guys congratulated themselves on some more runoffs podiums. Congratulations, Tim. You had a battle with every car on track, it seemed like.
Yeah, I did. It was we fought the good fight, and we raced people clean, then gave them a lane if they had a run on me for the most part. And after all this craziness at VIR the last couple of years, it's kind of nice that we got a good racing day. And even though it was a really greasy track, it was a handful, but it ended up being a good race for us at least. And I'm really proud of the team. Give me a solid car. I got to say thank you to my family, Dave family, and most importantly, my wife. Can't do any of this without her. So, and of course, Goodyear. They make a hell of a tire. And I got to thank all the volunteers at the SCCA as well. So.
Congratulations to you. You got to experience the grease all in a bit of a unique way there at turn one, didn't you?
Yeah. Turn one's usually a good turn for me, but the whole weekend I've just been off something with the car. I don't know if it's the surface or the car, and I'm usually pretty good around the outside there. But I dropped the back left wheel off, tried to ride it out in the dust, and just brought it around a little too much, and almost had it but lost it. Almost doesn't count.
Well, congratulations on a great recovery drive and another medal here.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Hayward. Great recovery drive indeed, as these drivers all very happy. Let's do some highlights as we got the original start. Greg Gyann from the pole, taking the lead. Tim Day slots in right behind him. There's Sherman Chao. I don't know if there was any contact there between he and Tony Ave, but a little bit of brake smoke. And Day and Gyann battled all race long. And Ave and Pancea doing the same thing. Ave jumping up into that fourth spot. Then Pancea was able to repay the favor, and then he ran down Tim Day. Sherman Chao at that point still in the third position. Pancea just hunting down these leaders, and then a little bit of a slide from Tim Day, and Pancea said, "Thank you very much. Let's go for the lead." We got side by side. Sherman Chao at that point looked like he might still be in the thick of this battle. Tony Ave bringing up the rear as they climbed the hill. Pancea able to stretch the advantage as they came onto the front straightaway. But I think this may have been about the time that Sherman Chao got it all wrong, went a little bit too wide. He eventually finished in fifth spot, but here's where Day tried to go to the inside at the checkered flag, but couldn't quite get it done. And Lucian Pancea finally, after 9 tries, gets the job done, and he's around for his victory lap. On behalf of Larry McLeod and Hayward Wagner, I'm John Phippen. Thank you so much for being with us on this beautiful day here at Virginia International Raceway. Lots of racing still to come. 2 more days full in the 60th running of the SCCA National Championship Runoffs from Virginia International. On behalf of everybody, thanks for being with us. We'll see you down the road.
My customer experience with Mazda has been absolutely fantastic.
I'm probably not the richest person out here, and they're extremely reasonably priced, and you can buy parts easily, and it's a class that fits both what I want from a racing standpoint and what I can afford.
We got into Mazdas largely just because it's a fantastic platform, and Mazda Motorsports has some of the best support for the grassroots racer in parts and technical advice and everything else, so they make it easy for us to run these cars.